So I'm recording. Hello. You may have to click something on your screen just to say that's cool. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Welcome, friends. So we're going to begin today's class just sitting and chilling out a bit. And while we sit and chill out, we're going to do a mudra, which is a hand shape. And I'm going to show you what the hand shape is. So the hand shape, just take your thumb, put it between your two, like do your Klingon thing, put your thumb there, and then just close it up. So it looks like there's a little turtle coming out. And the goal here, this is actually called Turtle Mudra, is for us to take shelter in the mudra. So mudras are these kind of cool little hand meditation shapes. And we're just going to hold this for 2-3 minutes while I introduce the class. So as you're holding the mudra, just take some deep breaths. So inhale deeply from the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let it go. Fantastic. And inhale from the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let it go. And just cultivate a sense of arrival. You're here, this is where you are choosing to spend the next hour, taking shelter perhaps, like a turtle, from the storms outside. The theme of today's class is playing hooky. For our English colleagues, the word would be skiving. But the movie Ferris, Bueller's Day Off gives an indication of the vibe I'm going for. We all drive ourselves very hard, and sometimes it's useful to take a day off, even if it's not entirely sanctioned. It's good for us to take shelter from the world and show ourselves compassion. Often when we talk about compassion in yoga, the goal is to go out and feed the community or devote yourself to a cause. But if you don't look after yourself first, then it's impossible to look after anybody else. And particularly here in New York, but all over the world, I think it's really easy for us to forget that stuff. We're also driven, and we all identify so hard with the causes that we're going after, that we don't always take a moment to retreat into our shell and just check everything out in there, make sure we're all good. So that's what today is going to be about. And I'll take us through a fairly compassionate practice. We have a couple of peak poses that are designed to really open up the hips and the heart towards the sort of last parts of the practice, and we'll stay in those poses for a little while just to kind of really get the full benefit. So yeah, we're playing hooky. If you would like to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off after this, I thoroughly recommend it. But please don't consider that homework. Good. Okay, so you should be holding the mudra still, and you should be still hearing that noise of the breath coming and going. Now's the time for us to warm up a little bit. So I'm going to release the mudra, and I'm going to find myself on all fours on my mat. It's a comfortable tabletop position. So my hands are below my shoulders, my fingers are spread wide on the mat, and my hips are directly above my knees, and the tops of my feet are also pressing down into the mat. And I can just inhale deeply here from the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and really let that go, nice and loud. We talked a little bit about the sort of Darth Vader breath, that Ujjayi sounding breath. It's where you can strip the back of your throat, and you can kind of hear those noises of the breath coming in and out like an ocean. You really want to hear that here. This is the time to really sort of turn that up to 11. Imagine you could probably hear it from another room. That's about how loud you want it. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Good. On the next inhale, just raise the gaze to the sky, drop the belly. So you're coming up for a cow shape. And on the next exhale,
curve the spine over so you're coming over into a cat shape. These shapes on the inhale, coming back up, are just designed to start warming up the spine. So on the exhale, coming over. You can really pull the navel into the spine if you want to. Depends how active you want to be today. And on the inhale, back up. And on the next exhale, scared cowering cat. Good. Back to a neutral tabletop. Gonna warm up the hamstrings and the shoulders. So first thing is just popping the right leg back and extending it back. I'm putting the ball of the right foot on the ground. I'm just rolling forward and back with inhale and exhale onto the ball of the right foot. Trying to really warm up that hamstring, feel the benefit. And again, trying to keep that breathing loud. You're kind of rooting down through the ball of the foot and kind of rising up through the heel. But you're also rising up through the shoulders and making sure that you're really rooting down with your hands at the top of the mat. Again, we're just arriving here. Now on the next inhale, just rising the left arm up and rising the right arm up. So we're in a sort of, I don't know what you call this here, but my right leg's extended and my left arm is extended and my gaze is forward. And I'm really feeling the stretch here. So stretching that right heel all the way to the back of the room and the left arm all the way to the front. Really opening up everything in the body. And on the next exhale, just meet the left elbow to the right knee and hold. Good. Feel that engagement at the core. And on the inhale, lengthen again. And on the exhale, hold. Inhaling, there you go. And on the inhale, lengthen again. And on the next exhale, again, bringing that left elbow in to meet the left knee and holding. And on the inhale, finding back that neutral tabletop again. Very nice. No surprises, we're going to do the same on the other side. So first of all, the ball of the left foot just hanging out at the back of the mat. Rolling back and forth on the ball of the foot. Finding some length in our hamstring. Some of us are lucky, we've got really flexible hamstrings. Some of us are also lucky in that we have hamstrings that are there to teach us about our constraints. Now I'm raising the left leg up and raising the right arm up. And again, just really extending out. So flexing that left foot, left heel towards the back of the room and straightening that right arm, just really pushing it towards the front of the room. And just feeling everything expanding. You might even feel some expansion in the low belly, like strange places. But you want to inhale deeply here, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. One more inhale. And on the exhale, bring the right elbow to the left knee and just hold. And then inhale back to the extension. And then the next exhale again, hold in the middle. And inhale back to extend. And on the next exhale, hold again. Good. Next inhale, back to a nice tabletop. Very good. I'm just going to do some slightly intuitive movements. I'm swaying my hips from left to right. You might want to do some more cat-cows. Just whatever it takes here, just take some deep breaths just so you can find yourself kind of fully comfortable arriving on the mat. That's good. And now, the all fabulous downward facing dog. So I'm just flipping my toes up, tucking my toes, and I'm bringing my knees up and my hips back, and I'm extending out for the first downward dog of the day. These can be really unpleasant, the first one, or they can be really delightful. And I'm always surprised, actually, by what happens in the downward facing dog. Sometimes it feels super. So I'm rooting down with the feet, and I'm rooting down through all four corners of the hands. And I'm really, if I can, lifting the hips back as high as I can, but I want to make sure I've got that extension in the upper back and in the lower back too. So I'm actually bending my knees here so that I can bring my belly onto my upper thighs and just kind of give myself a little bit more of a stretch in the back. What you don't want to do there is really go for the straight back of your legs, but then sacrifice the bend in the back. The back is where you're really trying to do the most work here. Just aligning every single element of that back and really feeling good. And on the next inhale, just roll forward into a plank pose and just look down. Now, if you've had to move your feet forward or back, that's a sign that maybe your stance is too long or too short. What you want is, so we're in this plank pose. If I now inhale to come back, I should be in my downward dog. It's the same pose. So I'm going to take a deep breath here. Exhale. And on the next inhale, I'm going to roll forward into plank. And again, I'm just holding that plank. So as I look down, I can see my fingers spread on the mat. My toes are nice and tucked. And I'm really sucking that navel into the spine. I'm starting to build some heat in the body. Just feel a sense of resilience and kind of strength really through this pose. Good. Inhale, coming back up into the downward facing dog. We're going to do this one more time, so just see if you can find that downward facing dog nicely. And again, maybe you need to bend the knees, maybe you can bring the shoulders in, just find a nice stretch in the back. Deep breaths, and then on the next inhale, come back forward into plank and hold that plank for 5 breaths. So deep breath 1. Deep breath, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Another one. If you need to drop the knees here, that's cool. No one's judging. This isn't a competition. But what we're trying to do is get the body nice and warm quickly so that we don't have to mess around too much. It's a little bit like bunking off school. You want to make sure you've, got your bunking dealt with so you can get on with your day, right? One more deep breath, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and back into the downward facing dog. Very nice. And then slowly, 1 foot at a time, just walk those feet forward. You want to feel each foot as you step forward, but you're going to walk forward into a forward fold here. And just let the head hang heavy over the legs. I'm keeping a bend in my legs, which is totally cool again, just so that the belly can rest on the upper thighs. Some folks like to straighten the legs, you can do that. But just let the head go. Let the crown of the head hang heavy towards the ground. Start feeling a nice extension in the upper back. Reaching down through all 4 corners of your feet, rising up with the hamstrings. And just really arriving and letting it go. That's good. Very, very good. Good. Slowly on the inhale, we're going to come up vertebrae by vertebrae. So you're rolling up like a ragdoll. And the head, crown of the head is the last thing to come up. And then the palms of the hands facing the front. So I'm in Tadasana or mountain pose. And that's where we want to be. Just take a deep breath here. Let it go. Another deep breath. And let it go. Good. Nice and warm. So we're going to just do a quick round of sun salves just to build that heat some more. On the inhale, rise the hands up overhead. Look up. On the exhale, hinge forward, folding the hips. On the inhale, rise up for a halfway lift or flat back, just opening the chest to the front of the room. And on the exhale, step the right foot to the back, dropping the right knee. Keep that left leg bent and extended here in front, like that. You can check. As you inhale, you're coming up, rising up with the hands up overhead. And on the exhale, you can drop gently into that hip. You want to feel a stretch in the right quadricep and maybe in the left hip and the right hip too, but you want to really just breathe deeply here. Low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. Let it go. And again, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Good. Drop the hands to frame the front foot. Bring the front foot to meet the back for a plank position. And then on the exhale, drop down to the knees and maybe the chest and the chin. And on the inhale, slither forward just for a baby cobra position. You know this is right because your elbows are coming in to meet each other. The tops of my feet are actually pressed down on the ground. And my knees are zipped up, so the knees are actually off the ground. And I've actually lifted my hands off the ground. What I'm trying to do here is just warm up the muscles in the back. So I'm not crunching the lower back, but with each inhale, I'm just making sure that I'm engaging those muscles. Those muscles we don't really use very much, and they're very, very important for yoga and for generally our posture. Good. On the exhale, you're going to come over into a downward facing dog. However you want to get there is fine with me, because you know this pose really well by now. And then take a deep breath, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Inhale, right leg goes high. Make sure those right feet are square, like those right toes are square. Before you exhale, step it through between the hands and drop the back knee. So my left knee is down, my right knee is bent in front of me, and on the inhale, I'm raising those hands up above me again. Some folks like to add a slight back bend here. Frankly, I don't have the flexibility, so I'm just going to chill out. Show myself a bit of compassion as I breathe deeply from the in-belly, mid-belly, upper chest, and let it go. And again, low belly, mid-belly, upper chest, and let it go. Rooting down through the front foot and also pressing down through the back foot here. And just rising through the crown of the head, but really rising up through the chest too. We want to open that chest to the sky, to the sun. And on the exhale, frame the front foot, bring the back foot to meet the front of the mat, and you just hang over in a forward fold. Really nice. Take a deep breath from the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let it go. And on the inhale, arms will rise up overhead into a prayer position above the head, and exhale to heart center. Good. We'll repeat that on the other side. So as you inhale, raise the arms up overhead, and on the exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale for halfway lift, flat back. On the exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat, dropping the knee. Keep the right knee bent in front of you. On the inhale, use the rooting down of the right front foot and the back foot and the stability to raise those arms up overhead. Again, 3 deep breaths here as we focus on the whole breath. Inhale. And really root down. I'm actually pushing down extra hard through the top of my left or back foot, as well as through the top and all the 4 corners of the right foot, just to lift a little higher and open the chest. We really want to think about that opening movement in this posture. Good. On the exhale, framing the front foot, bring the front to meet the back for a plank pose, and just holding there for 1 deep breath. And on the exhale, drop the knees, drop the chest and the chin, and then on the inhale, slither forward for a baby cobra. Again, engage those muscles at the back, making sure that the feet are untucked, the knees are zipped up. You're really, as you inhale, just really engaging those muscles in the back. That's excellent. And then as you exhale, coming over into a downward facing dog. We like this one. Take a deep breath there, low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. And this time, lifting the left leg high on the inhale, making sure that that left pinky toe is square to the mat. Not trying to do anything silly. And then on the inhale, exhale, step it through between the hands. Good. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. And on the inhale, bring those hands up overhead in the sun cell. Now, make sure the hips are square here. My right hip and left hip were a little bit unsquare, so just square them back off. And again, opening the chest, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and exhale. And a really deep breath, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Good. Frame the front foot with the hands. Bring the back foot to meet the front. Hang over, chill out, take a deep breath. Good. This time on the inhale, we're going to bring the hands up overhead. Have them meet in a prayer position above the head. And on the exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Very good. That's our sun cells. We've done those. As we stand in this position, I'm going to introduce a new mudra. So we had the turtle mudra at the beginning, which was really fun. That's for when we're taking shelter. That's when we're putting our gas mask on before we help other people. Now, I'm going to introduce the lotus mudra. So it's real simple. Thumb and little finger together, and then you open the hands like a lotus flower. Yeah. So as we're in our standing position, just stand with the lotus posture, and then actually on the inhale, you might want to raise it up slightly above the head, and just hold it there. Now, if you can straighten the arms, but remember, you want to make sure that the mudra is still locked in. So this is a fun one. And you might find as you do this that it sort of gives you an incentive to tuck the tailbone, like I often don't, but I don't know, maybe it's my back, who knows? But you'll find that if you have the mudra extended above, you don't really have a choice but to tuck that tailbone under and just receive whatever it is you want to receive. The reason I really like the lotus mudra is it's sort of an opposite to the turtle. Like, you know, this turtle where we're taking shelter, we've kind of restored ourselves. Ferris Bueller's gone to the art museum, right? But then you can also kind of
give back once you've done that and really open up like a lotus. The really nice thing about lotus flowers is they bloom in the mud. So maybe there's a metaphor there for crisis into opportunity, or stress into, I don't know, diamonds, whatever you want. But just focus on that mudra. Good. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward down into a forward fold. Really good. Nice one. We're going to do chair pose now. So as you inhale, keep your legs bent. My legs are one fist width apart, and I'm sitting down. Now, again, I have a tendency to untuck my tailbone here, but it's really, I don't know, it's really one of those ones where you want to really sit back into the chair and keep those legs nice and keep the arms nice and extended. And inhale deeply, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. And again, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. We're not going to spend a long time here. I'm just going to tell an extremely long story. On the next exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Very good. And just let yourself off. We were in a stressful position there. Now we're in a relaxed position. And just notice the shifting in your consciousness, because that generally is the shift we want to achieve. Often that later. Good. We're going to do a little standing series now, just to take ourselves through the kind of warming up of the hips for our peak poses. So as you inhale, I want you to step back into a downward dog. If you're wearing glasses, they may have just fallen off. That would be very serendipitous because mine did. And on the inhale, I'm raising the right leg high and I'm stepping it forward in between the hands. I'm turning the heel of the left foot down to a 45-degree angle, and I'm heel toeing my right foot out to meet the right hand. I want to maintain that sort of slight lift in the spine as I come up. Again, like a sun sail, but keeping this front leg bent, if possible, into Warrior One. So, my Warrior One is not as impressive as those of the young yoga teachers 20 years younger than me, but I can tell you, they haven't been through quite as many battles. So, on the inhale, low belly, mid belly, and upper chest. And on the exhale, really sit forward into that right knee. Now you want to make sure the right knee doesn't go over the line of the 90 degrees, but in my case, there's no danger of that. And I'm rooting down into all four corners of the back foot. My hips are squared off. And as I inhale, I'm actually even slightly bending back just to open the chest. The bend is coming from the upper shoulders. Inhale, low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. And on the exhale, bringing that right arm down in front of you, heel toeing the left foot back and squaring it off so that the line of the back of the right heel comes to the middle of the left foot, and just having the arms out straight. There is an opening here in the hips, so if you can't feel it, you might want to bend slightly lower. Again, not going over that 90-degree angle, but also bringing this knee as you can as far out to meet that right little toe. So I'm not leaning forward and I'm not leaning back, I'm dead straight over. So make sure your shoulders are dead straight over your hips and really rooting down. Now, if you want to come further forward, you can bend the knee, that's it. Low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest here, good. Exhale. On the next inhale, flip the front palm upside down and then bring it up as you bring the left arm down to meet the thigh. And I'm opening the chest slightly forward, so again, my left shoulder's coming slightly towards the right. I don't know, you can look at me, you know what I'm doing. This is a peaceful warrior. I'm feeling a deep stretch in the right side of the body. And I'm inhaling low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and I'm exhaling. You can make sure to keep that front knee bent, I always forget that. Low belly, mid belly, and upper chest. And as you exhale, come back to your Warrior Two position. And just ask yourself, how open am I right now to being nice to myself and my universe? Good. On the exhale, windmill the hands, frame the front foot. Good. And then bring the front foot to meet the back for a plank pose. On the exhale, you can either do the knees, chest and chin, or if you're feeling very warm, keep those toes tucked and just come down like half a push-up. And then I'm untucking the toes.
This is called chaturanga dance. It's more demanding, and there's an inhale. I'm coming up, not into a baby cobra, but to an upward-facing dog. But I'm being really careful here not to crunch the lower back. If you want to do a baby cobra, that's good. You do not need to do the downward, upward chaturanga dog what's-its, all right? We're all about compassion today. And then on the exhale, flipping over the toes, coming over into a downward-facing dog. Take a deep breath here, 3 parts. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Really feel yourself rooting down into that downward dog, and give yourself all the attention that you need by giving yourself those deep breaths. Low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. Really good. Good. This time on the inhale, bring the left leg high up behind you, and then the exhale, step it through so that the left foot is meeting the left hand. My right leg, I'm just bringing the right foot down to a 45-degree angle, and we're basically repeating what we did on the other side. So as I inhale, I'm coming up into a warrior 1. Again, rooting down through the hips, rooting down through all 4 corners of the front foot, and rooting down through all 4 corners of the back foot, making sure my hips are square. And as I inhale, just bringing up the hands nice, and opening the chest for that compassionate kind of heart opener. Good. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest. Good. Now don't go showing off here. I'm actually telling myself that because this is, as you start to warm up, this is sometimes where the body wants to get running away, but trust me, there's going to be plenty of time to show off in a bit, so take it easy. Good. On the exhale, coming down for a warrior 2, I'm going to flip around the other way just because I can see myself better. Good. Same thing. Okay, things to notice. That front foot and the back foot, the back of the front heel is coming down to the middle line of the back foot. And you might need to heel toe. You might want to make sure your stance is slightly different lengths, whatever it is. This knee can't go over that line, that's the most important thing. And then this knee is also coming out to the pinky toe of the front foot, the little toe. You feel an opening in the hips there. And as you bring the arms up, you should notice also an opening all the way through this body. So you've got an opening in the chest. Everything feels really open. It's like being a star. And as you inhale and exhale, you might be able to go slightly deeper into that front knee. You know you can do it. Everyone's got another inch there. Come on. Good. Very nice. And then as you inhale, just flip the front palm upside down so it's facing the ceiling. And then on the inhale, bring it up. We're stretch on the left side. So my right shoulder is actually kind of coming around to make room in that left body. And if you want, you can just bring the hand behind your back there, just to kind of say hello around the hip. Whatever you want, you're just trying to stretch here. So inhale, low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. Make sure that knee is still bent in the front. And let it go. One more, low belly, mid belly, upper chest. And on the exhale, back into warrior 2. Now, we spent a moment here on the other side just asking ourselves how compassionate we were feeling to ourselves. Same thing. How compassionate am I feeling towards myself right now? As I exhale, with the middle of the hands, coming down to front foot, really nice. And then back foot meets the front for a forward fold. Very good. Just hang out there. That's it. Nice one. So we're hanging out in forward fold. I'm just checking the time. Really good. So we're all set. Very, very good. Good. Now on the inhale, we'll bring the arms up overhead and find that lotus mudra over the head. And just inhale and exhale deeply 3 times. Again, we've done now with our standing series, we're going to move into our heart and hip openers. So it's actually quite a compassionate series. We're not doing too many sets. We're just keeping that lotus mudra open above our heads. Being open, open up, feeling some compassion. All good. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. And again. Good. On the exhale, bring the hands to heart center. We're going to come into a pose now called frog pose. So you'll need a mat. And you're going to want the mat facing, you might need to turn it around. You're going to want the mat facing crossways because I'm actually going out like that way when we get down there. So you want to make sure that the mat is underneath you. This pose is contraindicated
for hernia. So if you have hernia, don't do it. You can just go into child's pose. You can do some more warrior ones, warrior twos, whatever you want. No one wants a hernia, from what I gather. So let's not get involved in hernia town. But the goal of this pose, so as we come down, so what I'm going to do, bring my hips, bring my feet hip width apart. I'm just coming down to the mat. Good. Right. So frog pose is fun. My hands are kind of in front of me here, and my legs, I'm starting to open them as wide as I can, but I'm also keeping my toes out behind me. Now, some people can go all the way down here. I can't, and nor do I want to, because we're going to be in this pose for a little while. The goal here is for us to be in this pose for 20 breaths, and as a result, I don't want you to push yourself too hard and then have to back out. So go to the extent that you can go, right? And again, my feet are, so my shins are right angles to my knees, and my hips are open, but not crazy open. And then I'm going to slowly come down onto my forearms here, and just start feeling the release. If you want, you can come further down onto the mat. I don't fancy it, frankly. This is quite enough for me to be in a frog pose. And we're just going to inhale very deeply and exhale very deeply for 20 breaths. Don't worry, I've got a timer on. We're not going to go crazy. At the moment, we're on 4 deep breaths, so keep going. And I'll tell you a little story about the frog pose. While you're in the frog pose, try to adopt the turtle mudra from earlier. So you might be uncomfortable, but you can shelter with your discomfort from the outside world. The frog, of course, is reborn from dry riverbeds during monsoons. There is a sort of rather pure sensation going on in the opening of the hips here. As you start deepening into the pose, you may notice you can come a little deeper, and you may notice that the hips start to open slightly of their own accord. That's excellent. Breathe into that. And you may also find, I sometimes find myself laughing in this pose because the hips are a place where we really store a lot of kind of cooped up emotion. And I also sometimes find myself howling actually in this pose. The goal in the stretch of the hips is for us to stretch the hip muscles a little bit like you would stretch saltwater taffy on the beach. You know, when you stretch it out and it doesn't kind of go back. We're not trying to stretch a rubber band here, we're trying to stretch saltwater taffy, and that's the fascia in our muscles, which are really relaxing. So as you feel that pure sensation, just try to find a sense of serenity and a release from holding whatever it is you're holding there. And remember, you've got that turtle mudra in front of you. Everything's good, everything's safe, everything's fantastic. 4 more deep breaths here. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest. As you let it go, you can do the thing that I like to do, which is like do the horse noise. Didn't work. But really, we're releasing tension here with the out breath. So low belly, mid belly, upper chest. You might want to swear. That's all good. Low belly on the inhale, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. And 1 more deep breath. On the exhale, at the end of this deep breath, make it your deepest, most controlled exhale of the day, and really, really, really let it go. That's it. Good. Now slowly, we're going to come out of this. I like to undo the mudra with my hands and then gently start shuffling my elbows back before I start doing any nonsense with my feet. Basically, don't hurt yourself, it's dangerous. So I'm coming up onto my hands and then gently starting to bring those hips in towards each other without doing anything crazy. Oh God, that's better. Good. Now I'm finding myself kneeling, so I'm kneeling on my knees and I'm just basically letting it go there. So like, this is called hero pose, whatever you want to do there. Like you might want to shake the hips off a bit, but we just need to give ourselves a second to readjust. So we were in the turtle pose. I'm now doing the lotus mudra in front of my chest, and I'm taking a deep breath from the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. And I'm letting it go. Really good, everybody. Low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and letting it go. Good. So we've opened up the hips, and now we're going to open up the heart with camel pose. So I'm just coming back up onto my knees, and I'm going to do a slightly gentle variation on this pose. There's no need to like hurt ourselves, right? So I'm bringing my hands to the sacrum or the lower back here, and I'm just slowly bringing the elbows in to meet each other. And on the inhale, if you've got any neck issues, you don't want to lean back here. If you've got any knee issues, take it easy on the old knees, yeah? But on the inhale, low belly, mid belly, and upper chest, really start to feel the heart opening. Now this one, it takes a minute to sort of open up in front of the chest. You want to make sure that the pelvis and the low belly are engaged here, so you're not just falling back and crunching onto yourself, but you're actually with control opening the front of the chest. And really just take deep breaths here. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. And again, low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let it go. Good. Now, if you want, you can extend this pose to something slightly more demanding, but you don't have to, and I'm not going to. If you want to, and you feel you can get there, you might want to take a block or some sort of cushion behind you, kind of come down onto that block. If you really want to go crazy, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want you to think I want you to, you can go back and grab those ankles. Be careful if you're doing that you're not crunching into the lower back. You're doing so with control. This is quite enough for most of us to really feel that opening in the chest. And really, this hurts, actually. It's extremely difficult to be compassionate, particularly when people are not very nice. Just feeling that opening in the chest can be quite unnerving for many of us. And that's all right. Just let the energy move around from the low belly and the mid belly and the upper chest, and let it flow around the body. Just feel that sense of compassion. Really good. So we spent 20 breaths opening up the hips. We're going to spend 5 more breaths opening up the chest here. So low belly, mid belly, and upper chest. Try not to put too much pressure on the neck. Rooting down with the tops of the feet if you feel yourself unstable. 3 more breaths. Low belly, mid belly, upper chest. With that exhale, we're going to just gently, with control, lower down into a child's pose. Yeah. And this child's pose is all about restoring. So open the hips, open the knees wide, gently with control, drop that forehead down to meet the mat. The whole point of this one is to restore a sense of balance from those openers. So there's a couple of things you can do here. Choose the mudra that most calls to you right now. You can either do the lotus if you want to open up to the universe, or you can take shelter with the turtle. It's up to you. Take a turtle or a lotus, whichever's right, and then just breathe deeply into this. So low belly, mid belly, and upper chest. Feel yourself rooting down into the hips. Sometimes I like to open my hips a little wider just so I can get my butt down to meet my toes. The toes are meeting behind me, and I'm really, it's sort of a kind of active rest, like I'm extending all the way through the back. But this is the sort of thing where once you've warmed that body up, you can really do incredible things just by sitting in this child's pose and breathing deeply. So low belly, mid belly, and upper chest. Let it go. And again, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. That's excellent. Good. Release the mudra, and then slowly walk the hands back and bring those knees in to meet each other. So we're in a hero's pose. Next thing we're going to do is another very restorative pose going the other way over. So I'm just going to extend my feet out in front of me in a staff pose. So my feet are flexed and my body's perpendicular. I'm raising my hands up above me so that I'm in an L shape. And I'm just inhaling deeply again, low belly, mid belly, upper chest. With the exhale, I'm tilting forward at the pelvis. I'm not bending here. I'm sort of trying to bring the pelvis forward. And I'm following it with the upper body and the hands, but the motion is coming from the pelvis.
as I come forward. And maybe that's enough. You can inhale there, or you can exhale, and maybe you can grab the foot or whatever you want. But the main thing is that that motion's coming to stretch the lower back and the pelvis, and you're getting a nice deep stretch all the way through the back. Take deep breaths here, and on the exhale, soften down towards the legs. On the inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften and release. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to go as deep as you want. This is your practice. You're honoring yourself by showing up. There's no competition with anyone around us or even with ourselves. Maybe we got into a deeper stretch last week, or maybe we remember being more flexible on this, or want to be more flexible, but let's just find where we're at right now and be comfortable with that. Yoga is a bit of a moving meditation, so learning to be present with the reality as it is more important than any test results at the end of the year. Good. As you inhale, you come up, back into that staff pose. Just bring the hands back overhead and take a deep breath. And then bring the hands down. We're going to do a little twist here, just to make sure we're getting our money's worth. So, first things first, sole the right foot up on the mat. If you want, you can cross the right foot over the left leg. Up to you, but you want to make sure both hips are rooted down. So if bringing that over means the right hip doesn't root, then don't do it. Good. And then I'm bringing my right arm down behind me and my left arm high, and I'm just bringing it over and I'm wrapping so that I stretch over. If you want, you can hook that left arm over and get more leverage. I don't need to today because I'm being compassionate to myself. Low belly. It's not that I couldn't do it, of course. Mid belly. Upper chest, and let it go. Good. And again, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. On the exhale, just do a counter twist, so come the other way. Sometimes you can make really great cracking noises. That's always fun. And then release the leg. Really good. Oh, just do the old hands. And then I'm going to bring the sole of the left foot to the ground. Hips might be different, so you don't have to do exactly what you did on the other side if there's more tension or whatever. And again, left arm behind the body. Right arm up in the air on the inhale, and on the exhale, just wrapping it around the knee to twist. We want to make sure we're twisting the whole spine here, not just the top or the bottom. Not trying to crunch our backs. Take deep breaths from the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let them go. And the low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let them go. Really good. Next inhale, just bring the feet back down, shake the feet off, and we're going to do a slight inversion here. I always like to do feet up the wall, which is really straightforward, but I'm also going to teach us a different inversion today. So if you just want to take feet up the wall, find the wall, stick your feet up it. It's a fairly straightforward pose. Make sure the feet are straight. Don't hurt yourself. Please don't sue me, etc. I'm going to do a plow pose into a shoulder stand because it's quite nice, having done all that hip opening, just to do something that's a little bit more active in the inversion. So I'm coming down, first of all, onto my back, and I'm bringing the palms of my hands onto the ground. If you want to follow along and do the plow pose into the shoulder stand, then we're going to bring the feet up, first of all, so they're straight, and then slowly bring those feet over so that the feet touch. Now don't move your neck, all right? I'm not going to look at you here because I don't want to hurt my neck, but the feet just about, in my case, touch the ground. You can then bring the hands together behind the shoulders just to stretch out the shoulders. And this is bloody difficult for me. Inhale deeply, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. You can hear that my voice is constricted, which is probably a sign that I should be backing off a bit, so I have. There's no harm in backing off just a touch. You don't want to hurt yourself or push yourself into things you can't do.
Now I'm bringing the hands to the lower back and I'm gently walking those elbows in and slowly coming up into a shoulder stand. This is quite demanding. So I'm straightening the legs and I'm flexing the feet and I'm just looking up, feet here in a shoulder stand. Do not move your neck because you don't want to hurt it. And if you can, just try to inhale as deeply as you can, all the way up into the low belly. If your yoga teacher passes out, that's fine. Just carry on. I mean, you know what you're doing. But I think I'll probably be all right. But who knows? Maybe I'm learning a valuable lesson about being nice to myself and being compassionate. Good. To come out of this pose, you want to bring the feet back down to the plow position. So slowly on the inhale, start to bring the feet back over your head with control and touch them back down on the ground behind you. I'm bringing the hands, the palms of the hands down to the mat first. And I'm going to use them as brakes. So that very slowly as I roll forward, I'm doing with control, vertebrae by vertebrae. Just bring the feet slowly down in front of me. Eventually, I'll find those feet down there and I can just relax the head back. We're just going to take a happy baby here. So grab the outsides of feet or the ankles, whichever allows your lower back to really drop and root into the ground and your shoulders too. And just take a deep breath from the low belly, mid belly, upper chest, and let it go. Low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest, and let it go. Good. I'm just going to bring the knees into my chest and I'm going to hug myself tight, which is a sort of very nice thing to do. And I'm going to say to myself, you're all right, mate. It's okay. You can say something similar. Show yourself some compassion. And then on the exhale, gently lowering down into Shavasana or corpse pose. So the backs of the legs are straight on the ground and back of the head is laying down on the ground. Everything's down, everything's relaxed. You're in corpse pose. I'm going to take you through a 5-minute meditation and then bring you out of it. So no worries, all good. As you arrive in corpse pose, you may find that you want to resume the mudra. You may want your turtle mudra or your lotus mudra in front of your belly, whatever you want to do. Or you may just want to let the palms hang open on the mat. That's good too. So many of us seek our identity from work or from our roles in the world, which is fine. But the whole point of playing hooky for a day is to just realize that we're all right on our own. We're good enough. Everything's fine. Doesn't matter what you do for a living in the end. And if we look at the biggest regrets of people who are dying, they always say, oh, I wish I'd had the courage to be more myself. Or I wish I lived a life more like the one I wanted to live instead of living up to other people's expectations of me. And we're in corpse pose. We're in the pose of the dead. This is the pose we're in right now. And one of the sort of really beautiful things about just being restful here on the mat is the ground supporting you and you're supported in this posture. Don't need to go anywhere. Don't need to do anything. Just feel from the tip of the toes all the way up the legs, all the way up the back to the back of the head, completely supported by the mat underneath you. And as you inhale and exhale, feel the breath nourishing you and realize, yeah, that's all right. It's okay.
Notice a sense of space as you inhale. You might want to visualize as you're inhaling, your body, the outer shell of your body is still there, but the inside of your body is just completely filled with space. As you inhale, you're inhaling into an empty container, just a completely spacious container. And as you exhale, that's all good. If the mind runs away, bring it back to the breath. Picture your chest filling up with green light, the light of compassion, the light of Kermit the Frog. Picture that green light just filling your whole body and then filling the room that you're in. By making space for ourselves and being kind to ourselves, we can make space for others and find some compassion even in the most difficult moments. And that's the lesson we learn when we show up to do yoga. So just start to bring some awareness into your hands and feet now, and slowly, with control, just start to maybe stretch your hands over your head. Take a nice deep stretch. Very good. On the mat, you want to roll to the left or the right side, depending on whichever one you prefer. And just take a minute in that sort of fetal pose, just to sort of find yourself again. Now press down with the palm onto the mat and come up into a closing seat. So we're in a cross-legged seat, facing front. Just extend the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath on the low belly. And really, as you inhale, make sure you feel that breath coming all the way into that container of compassion. And there you go. Great. One more deep breath. And on the exhale, we'll bring the hands to heart center for Om. Sacred sound of Om. Inhale and exhale. Om. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.